Hello, seventh graders. This is Miss Morrell with your recap of learning in seventh grade science on Wednesday and Thursday, November 4th and 5th. So we wrapped up our Unit 7 study with a test over photosynthesis, cellular respiration, and diffusion. And then we have moved on to Unit 9 because it was Unit 7 and 8. Now we're on Unit 9, which is going to start our rather lengthy unit about body systems. So we are starting with the circulatory system, and then we'll move into the respiratory system. So we talked about the difference between structure and function. Structure is how something's built. Function is what it does. We talked about the main structures of the circulatory system. That would be the heart, the blood vessels, and then not really a structure, but an integral or accessory part would be the blood. The main function of the circulatory system is to transport materials around the body. Later on, we'll be talking about the correlation between organelles and organ systems. So is there an organelle that kind of acts like the transport system? Yes, and that would be the Golgi apparatus and the endoplasmic reticulum. But we didn't ask you guys to learn those, so we're not really going to spend a lot of time on that particular correlation. So as always, if you missed class, there's a video recap here. Here are today's warm-up questions. We then watched a series of Brain Pop videos. Brain Pop material is really good when it comes to body systems. So we did an introductory video with the circulatory system, a specific video on the heart, and then in some classes, we watched an additional video on the blood, because blood is a tissue. It's a group of cells working together for a purpose, so it's a tissue. But it's interesting because your blood has 4 components. It has red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma. And each one of those things does something different. So blood is really interesting. We then asked you guys to create your own copy of some fill-in-the-blank notes, some prompt notes, based on this PowerPoint presentation. So we asked you to open up your science folder in your Google Drive and open up the notes folder in your science folder. And then this link here forced you to make a copy of the notes. So you clicked on this link, and then it forced you to make a copy. And then we asked you to rename the copy. So whatever you would want to type, your last name or your first name or whatever. We asked you to make that copy. And then as you are going along and watching the PowerPoint that is right here. So I'm going to pull that up real quick just so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so the PowerPoint's right here. And this PowerPoint correlates to these notes. So we asked you each of these, you can just take the line out and type the word in. So as you go through this PowerPoint, there are correlating blanks on the PowerPoint that go with the words. So for instance, this system delivers oxygen and nutrients to all the cells in the body and carbon dioxide and waste to the lungs through blood vessels. You have the blanks that match that right here. So you would type those words in. So we did this in class together. But if you were absent, or if you are asynchronous, or if you didn't finish, go back and finish this. And now you have a complete set of notes in your notes folder. So we did that in class. And then we also, once we finished that, we completed our homeworks. So the homework assignment is right here. So if you haven't done that, please do it. If you were absent, here is a video to just explain the homeworks for you. We then had a circulatory system click and drag notes, just like we did with photosynthesis, with cells, with cell theory. Here are some click and drag notes just for you to check your own learning. Once you finish those, put them in your notes folder on your Google Drive, in your science notes folder. Then in some classes, you completed a circulatory system learning check. In other classes, you'll be completing it at the beginning of the next class period. And then finally, for homework, we ask you to start our next lesson, the respiratory system, by clicking the Explore the Respiratory System link. So that's it for science instruction on Wednesday and Thursday, November 4th and 5th. Hope this gets you where you need to be.